egg or something, it could excrete toxins or produce toxins that enter your bloodstream and you get toxic shock syndrome that way. So it's not just from tampon use, but that was one of the prolific ones. And I remember because I was in college when that was the first time they discovered what was going on. Botulism. I've got lots of stories about that one. But I'll tell you about Barbara Friedman. I don't know how I remember all this crap. I can't remember what I did this morning, but I can remember stuff that happened years ago. So many years ago when I was working at the college, I had a coworker named Barbara Friedman. Isn't Friedman a Jewish name? Okay. Well, her mother received a Christmas gift. And it was one of these fancy bottles of oil with like the sprig of rosemary in it and a couple of shallots and a couple of garlic cloves. You ever see those fancy bottles of oil like that? Okay, so Barbara's mother and her grandmother, they all lived together, one big family. Her mother and her grandmother were making a salad for themselves one evening, and they used the oil, and they chopped up the little piece of garlic that was in the oil into little tiny pieces and put that in their salad too. And within a couple of hours, they started getting like blurry vision and couldn't really talk well and kind of losing their, the whole thing, neurological, starting to go. And when you get botulism, that toxin is going to shut down your respiratory center, right back here. Remember from anatomy and physiology of the brain and all that stuff, where your respiratory center, it shuts down your nervous system there. You're going to die of asphyxiation from the toxin. Where was the toxin? It was in the clove of garlic. Because where does garlic grow? In the dirt. Oh yeah, you said you went to Thailand. My brother lives in Thailand, and across the street from his wife's family's house, their neighbors, you know what she does for a living? She peels garlic. So they harvest a whole bag of garlic, they deliver it to her house, and it's her job to, it comes in a big, what do you call that whole one? It's not a clove, it's a clump. She has to clean the garlic. She literally peels the garlic and separates it. She gets $1 a bag. A bag. She sits there all day peeling freaking garlic, separating the cloves, putting them back in a new bag, and she gets $1 a bag.
But over there, it's decent.
Yeah.
Money. It's really cheap over there. Everything's very cheap.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And they all do something extra on the side to earn money.
Yeah. What's the most disgusting? They have the little motorcycles, and they have the scooters, and they have like a carry-on on it, and they cook soup on it, right. and grill the chickens, but they drive around with the chickens and the flames around the street, so I'm like, okay, great. When I was a kid, I was, and their sewer system's nothing great either. When it starts raining, everything's coming out.
Yeah, I know.
Gross.
Yeah, we should talk. I'll tell you a story. My brother's wife's family, it's a long story, but anyway, their house was rebuilt by Habitat for Humanity, and Jimmy Carter went to their house.
Oh.
She met Jimmy Carter.
Where in Thailand?
She lives in Udon Thani, up in the farm country in the north. You were down in the nice area.
I was Bangkok and down there.
Yeah, you were in the nice area. Udon Thani is still open.
Oh, we went to River Kwai and everything. It was disgusting.
All right, so anyways, so Barbara Friedman's family, the garlic grows in the dirt. Where are endospores? In the dirt.
In the dirt.
So there was just a little bit of dirt on that clove of garlic, and the right environment in that bottle for the bacteria to live in the garlic and excrete their toxins into the garlic. So when they ate the little pieces of garlic, they got a dose of botulism toxin, and it doesn't take much. You know what the lethal dose of botulism toxin is measured in? there's a concept your book doesn't go into. It's called lethal dose, or LD50. And the lethal dose of botulism toxin is measured in nanograms, 10 to the negative 9th grams.
Wow.
Oh,
That's like wavelength.
Really small amount. So anyway, Barbara's mother and grandmother went to the hospital, put them on respirators because you're going to die. And while you're kept artificially alive on the respirator, they administer antibiotic and antitoxin. And eventually, after a long, long time, you'll come off the respirator and be able to breathe on your own. But the nervous system has been damaged and it's not going to recover 100%. Barbara's family was in the hospital for 6 months or more, and after that they lived in a hospice for 2 years and had to have occupational therapy to learn how to do physical tasks again because their nervous system had been so damaged. And I remember Barbara saying to me, years after this happened, well, my mother still has trouble getting in and out of the car. Simple things like that. Her nervous system could never recover. Her father also got botulism poisoning. Not as bad. He only spent like a year and a half in recovery. He went into the kitchen. Do you want some salad, honey?
Oh.
Nope. Making myself a sandwich. Puts the sandwich together, grabs the knife they had cut the garlic with, and slices his sandwich.
okay.
That's how small an amount it takes. The thing is, the toxin will break down in water, which is weird. So that's like your only saving thing. Otherwise, some terrorists would have put it in our water system. When they put it in the water system, it gets broken down. Yep, and
So someone gave him that
don't
as a gift?
buy, yeah, I know. Can you imagine how bad she
Oh
must
my
feel?
God.
I must have thought,
I don't
like,
even think you're supposed to use those. I thought those were just
yeah, I thought they were
So
decorative.
it wasn't
Decorative.
the clover over the freaking garlic?
Clove and the freaking garlic, yeah.
So, even when you like
There
cook
was
it,
a-
you cannot cook it enough
Yeah.
really because the endospores.
If you cooked it,
Then you can-
you would denature the toxin. This doesn't,
Okay.
yeah, you would denature the toxin.
Okay.
So that's what happens, when the dirt gets in the garlic clove, there's endospores in the dirt.
Uh-huh.
And it's the right sealed anaerobic environment for the endospore to germinate
But
into
the-
bacteria, then the bacteria excrete waste into
But the
food.
endospore still could be in there, right? Because it takes a lot to kill the endospore. We're
Right.
just gonna kill the toxins
Oh,
from the endospore, right?
Yeah, the
By cooking
endospore is, so what will happen, let's say the endospore, well, here's another example. Okay, so there was a story in our old textbook where this woman was cleaning house one day, and she, the night before, she put frozen dinner in the microwave oven
Mm-hmm.
and heated it up. And then her husband came home with pizza. Which would you rather have, frozen dinner or pizza? So she ate the pizza and left the frozen dinner in the microwave. Next day, she was cleaning house all day, and she was really tired and hungry, so she remembered the frozen dinner was in the microwave, and it was already cooked. She cooked it the night before, so she just peeled open the top and ate it. And within a few hours, she gets blurry vision and blah, blah, blah. She gets botulism. Why? What happened? When the frozen dinner was made, there might have been a little speck of dirt with endospores in it.
Mm-hmm.
When she heated it up and let it cool down, the heat of the microwave wasn't enough to kill the endospores. And when it cooled down and sat overnight and all day, the endospores germinated into bacteria and excreted toxins into the food.
Because she
If
ate
she
it
had
cold.
reheated
Did
the
it?
frozen, if she
Uh-huh.
had reheated it, she would have denatured the toxin and killed the bacteria. But because she didn't, it wasn't the endospores, it was actually the
The
toxins
bacteria.
that got
Oh,
and the bacteria.
gotcha.
So the actual endospore could always be in you, just
Right.
not
Just
be-
not
Well,
toxic.
endospores, chances are it's just gonna go through your digestive tract.
So any food that comes from the ground that's not cooked and you eat it raw,
And reheat it. You gotta reheat your leftovers. So they say one of the worst causes had been, you know when you bake your potatoes and you wrap them in cellophane?
I've heard of
foil?
it,
Yeah.
I've heard of it, I've heard of it, like people just basically, what is called,
Asphyxiate.
yeah, it's seriously, because there is basically what they have in the restaurants is you have this baked potato, this nice baked potato, and then what happens is you order the baked potato, it waits for a while, and when it cools down, it has a chance for those spores to grow back, and when you eat it, you suffocate after that because of the bacteria. I've heard of it.
Oh, they just freaking mash it in the mashed potatoes with the skin and don't wash the potatoes with the dirt on it, right?
Yeah, so, and this is,
Cold
yeah.
potatoes.
Well, potatoes grow in the dirt, and even if you wash a potato, you could miss an endospore.
Oh, yeah.
And so what some people will do is like they'll bake potatoes in the foil and then have that for dinner that night. And then there's leftover potatoes. You let them cool down
And eat them
and you
cold.
make potato salad out of them. So now in the restaurant industry, they're not supposed to use the foil.
Huh.
Yeah, Crystal.
You said that water denatures the endospore, the toxin, so is that
No,
what
it denatures the toxin itself, the botulism toxin. Yeah.
That would
There's
wash
something
away.
I read about how because what if a terrorist had a little bit of botulism toxin and put it in the city water supply? They say it would break down. It wouldn't be
So,
able to contaminate us.
would
It
it-
would break down.
So would it
Not
have?
the endospores, not the bacteria, but the toxin itself.
So if there's botulism in like a food and we just wash that food a lot, then it would be fine.
If you drink with it a
Not
lot of water,
necessarily.
no?
If the endospores, if you don't get every single piece of dirt and endospore off, the endospore, under the right conditions, can germinate into bacteria, and then